Today we have a piece of spalted alder. This comes to us from viewer Judy in Woodland, California. Judy sent a box with about 4 nice pieces of wood in it, and I chose this one as the first piece, and we're gonna see how it goes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, as we like to say here at Shady Acres Wood Shop. Howdy, let's take a closer look at it. The piece is about 6-inch diameter, about 2.5 inches on this end, and about 4 inches on that end. And she's marked it as Spalted Poplar, and I do see some spalting in there. It's going to be a relatively simple piece unless I can come up with something on accident, because I don't know what I'm going to do with it exactly. It looks pretty sound. There's a few little cracks, but nothing dramatic. I'm just going to take this over here to my drill press, drill a large flat spot for my chuck jaws to set against. In the middle of that, I'm going to drill a hole for my woodworm screw. We'll get this mounted up and turn this spalted poplar into something pretty, I hope. We're going to be turning at 550 RPM, 5/8 inch bowl gouge, mask and face shield on. I think this is going to have some real pretty grain in there, it looks like. Some nice figure. I'm just rounding it up. There's nothing on the outside that cries out to be saved. So I'm just going to make it round to start with. I can probably pick the speed up a little now, maybe. A little, about 660. Well, I stopped for a minute to adjust my tool rest, and I saw this hole here. So I thought I would probe into it a little bit. I'm expecting to find a critter here pretty soon. This is it's just fiber, like, oh boy, look at that. That's going in there 3.5 inches. I noticed when I drilled the hole for my woodworm screw, it was very hard to drill, and then all of a sudden it was really easy, and I thought that was odd. So whatever has gone in there has hollowed it out, I think. I don't really see any critter. Well, it goes that whole distance, so we're definitely going to have a hole in the side, that's for sure. Well, it looks like we're round. I thought I might round this top over, you know, kind of roll it in, but I'm so close to the chuck here, I can't really roll much. And if I do roll it at all, it's only going to be on this high point. The rest of it's much lower. I guess I'll start working on this lower corner and see what happens. That wood is hard. I just sharpened this before we got started, and yeah, need it again. Alright, well, I'm going to come down here to the bottom, flatten it off, lay out for something, tenon or recess, after I go sharpen up. You don't pick the speed up anymore. About 750. I think we'll do a recess. I'm going to use my dovetail tool, put a dovetail on the side here. I'm going to switch to a 1/2 inch bowl gouge, and I'm going to put a base on here. This is way too deep, so I'm going to steal some of it and move it over here for a little base. That's pretty good. There's some holes in here. Not like that hole. Oh boy. I might do some additional turning on the outside once I flip it around. There's just not much I can do at this point. Well, except I can certainly smooth out my cut some. I'll use my negative rake scraper for that. I think we'll just go with that for now. Well, maybe I'll flip it around now and see if I'm going to before I go through all the sanding stuff and then change my mind and do away with my sanding. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip it around and see what I can do with the top or the side or whatever. Or maybe it's okay the way it is. I don't know. Hang in there. Okay. I guess my point here is I want to round this inward, so that's what I'm going to do. We're turning at 750 RPM, 1/2 inch bowl gouge, mask and face shield on. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. We're probably going to cut about half of that away to make our wall here. I'm trying to decide if I want to turn it back around and sand it now. I have to keep my center hole there if I'm going to turn it around. I can't really sand it all the way it is mounted now. I can sand most of it, but not all of it. I can't get the bottom. Maybe I'll just start on this edge, leave the center where it is. Now, do I want to just leave this as a bevel, or do I want to round it all the way over? It doesn't quite look right as a... well, it does. It does look nice as a bevel, but it doesn't look natural. I'm glad I did that. I'm going to turn it back around and see if there's anything else I need to do or just sand it. So this is what we're dealing with, and I see I have more of a bevel here than a curve. So I think I'll finish rounding that over. And then here's this part that could use a little bit more rounding over as well. So that's what I'll do. That's better, but it sure does want to tear up. I think it'll sand out. I could try my scraper, but if it's tearing up with a sharp gouge, it's probably going to be worse with the scraper. Alright, I can just sand that little line out of there. Yeah, it'll be nicely rounded when we're done. Time for sanding! I'm going to start the sanding with my Sandoflex. This is 180 grit. I'm going to sand everything I can reach along the top side here, which would have been a whole lot easier if I would have done that when I had it turned around the other way. But nobody ever accused me of being smart. When I'm done with that, I'll switch to my 2-inch disc starting at 80 grit. Working up through 400 grit. I'll have the lathe spinning in reverse for that at about 350 RPM. And I'll show you what both of those look like as soon as I get my mask on. And I really hope I can do this. I hurt both of my thumbs. My left one's the worst. The right one's getting better. Anyway, I can barely hold this thing. I thought I'd have trouble holding the chisel, but it wasn't too bad. But this is a whole lot heavier than that chisel is. But I'll give it a go. Yeah, that helps a lot. That cleans it up and smooths it out, but it doesn't change how it looks. That's much better. And now with my 2-inch disc. And that'll be pretty dang easy. I'll bring you back here in a little bit and we'll put something on there. I don't know what. See you in a bit. I decided on feeding wax for this one. It's so smooth and round and touchable. This finish will enhance that as well as enhancing the grain, the figure in this piece. And there's plenty of it. I don't know what I'm going to do in that hole there. Oh yes I do, I know. I'll put the finish on the inside of the recess after I've signed it. And there are a few little voids like this. I guess that must be bug holes. I don't know. They're teeny tiny, I can tell you that. Pinholes. So I'm just going to put some on this brush and try and get in there. And then I'll use this same brush on that big old hole that we have over here. I don't know if there's still anything in there or what. I don't think so. I blew 150 pounds of air pressure in there. So if it's still in there, it's all scrunched up, I can tell you that. Okay, so I'm going to let that set up for 20 minutes. Spin the piece up, buff it with a clean rag, and I'll bring you back and we'll start working on the inside. See you in a bit. I've got the piece turned around with the chuck jaws expanded into the recess. I'm real curious what we're going to find inside here in regards to that hole in the side. And then I just noticed there's another hole right here. It may be where a branch broke off, I don't know. But remember I told you when I drilled this hole, it was hard to go in and then all of a sudden it got easy. So I'm thinking it's hollow, not too far below there. So I just don't know what we're going to find inside there, but it'll be interesting to get there. Let's see what kind of speed we can get. It's about 780, but the lathe is starting to shake. But I think because this is a small piece and pretty round, we should be able to get past that. So I'm going to turn the speed up. Shaking, shaking. Now we're up to 900 and it's not shaking anymore. Sometimes you can do that. 11, 12, 13. Yeah, about 1370 it starts shaking again. So we're going to turn about 1350 RPM. Half-inch bowl gouge, freshly sharpened. Mask and face shield on. Just a little bit of shear scraping at the end there to clean up my top side edge here. Well, we haven't run into anything yet. There's that hole coming in. Yeah, it's not this hole. It's not the hole in the side. It's that other one that I told you I saw near the top. And it's soft. Oh. Something green in there. A lot of debris. A lot of soft stuff. Kind of like I found in the other hole. Well, I have not much doubt that we're going to turn it all away, but it's just interesting. I really thought with the first one, with the one on the side, I thought I was going to find a bug in there. A live bug, but I did not. We sure have some pretty grain, I can tell you that. I guess I'll cut this away so that I can get my tool rest in there a little bit closer. Oh, there it is. And some more green stuff. There's our hole. Well, it's just a hole, that's all. Well, we're getting pretty close now, about half an inch. Be kind of cool to leave it kind of like it is, huh? It's a little thicker there than I need it to be. Well, I just kind of like it that way. Don't you? Isn't that kind of cool, kind of different? I could turn it all away, but we might as well see what we can see. Yeah, we're at the bottom. Yeah, I'm inclined to leave it like that. So, with your permission, time for sanding. Well, I said time for sanding, didn't I? But then I decided it was still too thick. So I'm going to try and make one more pass here, which I've started doing. I'm still leaving that in there, but I just wanted to thin down the walls here a little bit. Okay, time for sanding for real this time, I promise. Oh. What's happening is this dip is hitting the edge of my sanding disc. I have to use a really light touch. That was forward at 400 RPM. Now reverse. Yeah, I'm just going to have to be really gentle with it. I'm starting at 80 grit, working up through 400 grit. Have the lathe spinning forward and reverse at 400 RPM. I'm going to go ahead and put the finish on. You saw me put it on the outside. I want you to get the full reveal all at once. So I'll get that finish in there. I'll bring you back in a little bit and we will take a good look at this thing. See you in a bit. Be sure you stick around at the end of the video so you can see the before and after shots of this piece. If you'd share the video, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Well, here it is. one Spalted Poplar natural edge bowl in the books. Look at the figure in there, my goodness gracious. A little bit of chatoyance inside and out on the chatoyance. Yeah, I think you can see it here maybe better. And then that hole in the side, I'm digging on it. There it is, it's a big one. I thought about sticking a ball bearing or marble or something in there and rolling it around and see if you could get it out the hole, but it would probably be pretty easy. It's just a cute little dish. I didn't measure it. I think it's about 5 inches across now. I think we started at 6 inches, something like that. I might have taken this side down a little further than I had in mind. It's still the highest, but not by much. This was real hard to sand only because of the grain of the wood. Let's see if I can find it. Like here, this looks like a tool mark when it's spinning, especially. And so I'm sanding and sanding and sanding, trying to get rid of that tool mark, but it's not a tool mark at all. It's just the grain of the wood. It tends to go all the way around, at least halfway. It's not over here. And then the same on the inside. There's lines in there like this one. Sanding and sanding. Oh, I guess it's the same line. It goes right through. Yeah, it's on the same side. Oh, and here too. Oops. Here too. Trying to get rid of it. It would not go away because it's part of the bowl. It feels so good. I wish you could, well, I wish you could feel it. It's just super smooth inside and out. It's a cutie. I like it quite a little bit. I hope you do too. Let me know what you think. Thank you, Judy in California, for sending this along for all to enjoy. If you like this video, thumbs up please. I'd sure appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I also appreciate that you took your time today to spend with me. I'm looking forward to your comments. I read them all. They mean a lot to me. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.